Sometimes, no matter how much light, good thoughts, or positive energy you surround yourself with, crap gets in. Either because we have an unfinished business situation going on, or we let our own energetic protection lapse. Sometimes we need more than smudging or light bubbles to untangle ourselves from energetic hooks. And that's what we'll be talking about in this episode. Hi everyone, Therese here. Welcome to this week's Karma Cards. I have a little bit of a different type of episode for you this week. I thought it would be fun to go over what's going on in our own energy. Do an aura check-in and see if we can do something to increase the positive energy field around the body. So I want to go back to the statement that I made at the start of this episode, where I talked about the fact that sometimes crummy energy gets in and it's trying to pull you down to its level. And I talked about two different ways this can happen. One is having unfinished business, which we're going to talk about in this episode. And another way is just having a lapse in energetic protection. And hey, this happens to all of us. Happens to me all the time. In fact, I had to put the old crystals in the bra today to remind myself, right, I want to provide an aura of safety, security, and protection for myself. So first, I want to start with talking to you about what having unfinished business does to our own energetic field. So unfinished business really has to do with what we are still holding on to, which usually means we just won't let go of it. And our higher self is always ready and prompting us when it is time to let something go energetically, emotionally, spiritually, or physically. And always sending us loving prompts like, why don't you let that go now? What? It's good. Like, let it go. And who's hanging on? Who do you think, what part of you is hanging on? If you said your mind, I would agree with you. So let's look at a few examples. I got some notes here. Just a few examples of how unfinished business can manifest in our energy. This can look like holding on to anger or grudges, right? And this tends to be a really dense energy. And it usually has a direct effect on the body. A good place to look is the liver. If the liver is showing up as overworked, there's definitely some anger issues being held in there. Other areas is holding on to a job, right, that we know isn't in alignment with us anymore. This is something that's naturally going to lower your energy and weaken your own energetic protection field. And we're talking about your aura, right? Your aura is your spiritual Tupperware, and it is designed and created to protect all that yummy spiritual energy, all the goodness inside. And when an aura is strong and healthy, you have strong, healthy boundaries. You are more radiant. You feel more grounded in yourself, more secure. And when it is starting to weaken, it can be one of two things. It can be possibly from outside forces, from like an energetic attack or heavy bombardment of lower energy in the outside world, but we can also be unintentionally attacking ourselves from within by holding on to things or doing behaviors that maybe we consciously know aren't good for us, or we're subconsciously, we know it's not good for us and we suppress or ignore it. So an example of attacking ourselves is holding on to anger longer than we need to. Holding on to a job that is toxic for us. Some other ideas are holding on to an unhealthy relationship, right? We've all been through one or two or even all three of these situations, so you know what that's like when you feel drained, right? Toxic relationships, and this can be any type of relationship. Replaying an argument over and over in your head. Anyone got stuck in that one before? That toxic loop of energy, or do you create those, right? Do you tell yourself stories about what a conversation with someone might be like because you have unresolved negative feelings with a person? replaying traumatic moment over and over, right? This tends to happen when we are traumatized. And this, trauma is actually quite common, and it is something I'm noticing is becoming more and more rampant as we're going through this time period. So it is easy to get caught in these mind loops where, I don't think we do this to ourselves on purpose, but the mind fixates. And if it doesn't get a sense of release, if it doesn't have that sense of closure, this is when the mind starts to go into these negative energy loops. Thinking of disparaging remarks someone has made about you, right? So holding on to someone else's negativity, right? And we, the deeper we go into our spiritual growth or our personal development, we begin to learn that many, many times, in fact, almost every negative experience you've had where someone has attacked you or seems to have attacked you, many times it's not you they're attacking, they're projecting onto you something about themselves. But it's really hard, even when you know that, to not take it personally. And when we do take it personally, this becomes that unfinished business, and it plays over and over into the head. And of course, continuing with unhealthy behavior or addictive behavior well after you are consciously aware that you're doing it. And so that becomes that negative cycle of self-sabotage. And this can weaken the aura, right? So all of these things have a toll. And what they end up doing is taking away a sense of feeling grounded, secure, and protected. So when the aura feels weakened, that's when we start to feel that sense of insecurity. So I want to do a quick aura check-in with you. I want to do a quiz. I love doing quizzes, so I hope you're excited to do this with me. It's really simple. Why don't you grab yourself a pen and paper, pause this, and meet me back here. All right, you ready? Let's do this. Let's have some fun. Now know this, that just whatever answer you get right now is simply letting you know. It's like a dipstick test of what's going on for you right now. This says nothing about your spiritual development or how advanced you are or how much you have polarized positive. No, this is a this moment check-in. And I want to let you know that no matter what answer you get, you can always improve your aura. We'll do a really simple technique. There's a couple that you can do. They're super easy to do, and you'll feel great afterwards. So grab that pen and paper, and it's 5 questions. All right, so let's find out how strong is your aura right now. So question number 1, after you've had an argument with someone, how long does it take you to drop those negative feelings? So again, A, within minutes, B, within 24 hours, or C, several days, or maybe even weeks. All right, question number 2. When you're talking to someone who is in a bad mood or distressed, do you, A, maintain your own equilibrium, B, let that person's pain affect you, or C, feel drained afterwards? All right, so someone else is in that bad mood and they're letting it all out on you. Are you able to A, maintain your own sense of equilibrium, B, let that person's pain affect you, or C, feel totally drained after the exchange? Okay, question number 3. Let's say you have a sick friend in the hospital and you go to visit them. Do you A, know you can bring a positive atmosphere and healing energy with you, B, feel slightly uneasy that people are sick around you, or C, become unwell yourself? All right, question number 4. When someone compliments you, do you A, say thank you, but pay little attention to it, B, feel embarrassed, but turn the compliment back, or C, glow with pleasure and tell everyone? The last question, number 5. When someone criticizes you, do you A, acknowledge that there may be some truth in it and try to adjust any imbalances in your character accordingly, B, fire back some negative words, or C, spend days or even weeks brooding over it. So take a moment, pause the video, add up your scores. How many A's did you get? How many B's did you get? And how many C's did you get? And when you've got that all tallied up, hit play again. So if you answered mostly A's, then you are actually very centered in your energy. Good job. Congratulations. This is an excellent basis for maintaining psychic health, healthy boundaries, and a happy aura. Okay, if you answered mostly B's, you know what? You're pretty empathic and you respond very naturally to the environment around you. You're very sympathetic. But you need to develop a stronger sense of self and create those strong boundaries. And you can do this with visualization, meditation, or tapping. Those are some great ways to help you increase positive self-awareness and know that you do not have to take on everything the world dishes out. If you found yourself answering mostly C, it seems like at this time you're pretty shaken by the outside world and other people's opinions. It sounds like the aura could really use some love and possibly even finding a mentor or a coach or a group program that you could join that would really help you focus on knowing that the outside world's opinions are just that, right? What do they say about opinions? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Sorry. So true. Everybody's got one. It's easy when you're a sensitive person to feel the intent of someone's negativity. So easy. But you should know that you deserve to be treated with love, honor, and respect. And when someone's not giving that to you, that's not a fault of yours. That's on them. All right, so surround yourself with loving people. Do things to help boost your aura, like meditation, like tapping. I highly recommend that. Like positive visualization. And of course, look for those who are loving you, are supporting you, and are creating a healthy environment to be in. Okay, let's do some karma cards. For those who are new to karma cards, I'll quickly show you how this works. I have 3 decks, planets, signs of the zodiac, and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my team, what is the message you have for us this week? And I've got 2 sets of answers, one in red, which are action related, and a set in blue, which are outcome related. And all you do to play is tune into your own intuition and decide, what do you need this week? Do you need action related answers, or do you want to know the outcomes this week? And of course, you can always choose both. While you are doing that, let me tell you the timing for this reading. This reading is for September 22nd through September 29th. And of course, before I forget, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde is coming. It's coming. It is coming. Okay, October 27th. So we'll be talking about that next time I see you, because it'll just have happened. So be prepared. Let yourself get ready for that place of deeper listening and slower speaking. All right. The flavor of this reading. We have Uranus, plot twist planet, full of surprises and what the heck just happened, right? Which is the ruler, by the way, of Aquarius. And we also have the sign of Aquarius. So this is a very Aquarian reading, which to me always signifies the age that we're in. So it's like, pay attention. This is the time period, the energy that we're in. And it's being represented by the 9th house, the house of mental expansion, philosophy, and travel. All right, for those who are choosing action, your spiritual action is to stir up the situation by using your vision as if it or they came from God. Stir up the situation by using your vision as if it came from God. Part of this is understanding that, first of all, your energetic protection field, it's something that needs to be actively maintained. And recognize the power of your ability to visualize that which you want for yourself. And that includes creating protection around yourself. So let's do a quick aura protection. exercise. This one's really easy to do. So the first thing I like to do when visualizing the aura, imagine a giant bubble around you and acknowledge that as your aura. Your aura is really cool. It can expand and contract. It can be very form-fitting. It can be very large. So put yourself in a bubble that's easy to reach out and touch. So what I first want you to do is look around at this beautiful bubble you're in and notice, how clean is it in here? Is it very clean? Is this bubble shiny and squeaky, or do you see some stuff that's maybe getting in your aura? Just take a look around. So look up in your mind's eye, look down at your feet, look left, look right, look behind you, look in front of you, and notice if there's any debris in the aura. And now I want you to imagine that in your hand, you have a special solvent, and this can be anything you want. Maybe it's a crystal, maybe it's a special concoction that you made, a potion, a spray. But I want you to imagine that you could easily pass this solvent over the aura. And as you do, as you pass this over your aura, the aura clears up. It's getting clearer, more see-through. It's easier to see. It's shiny. It's prismatic even. So just imagine anywhere that you're seeing debris, you're going around and you're cleaning the aura. Beautiful. And now we can tone the aura. So I want you to tone your aura with whatever you feel you need. So here are some ways we can tone our aura. We can add red to the aura if we need energy, right? We can add orange to the aura if we need an increase of joy. We can add yellow to the aura if we need to increase our willpower. We can add green to the aura if we want to increase an energy of healing. We can add pink to the aura if we want to increase an energy of love. We can add blue to the aura if we want to increase an energy of wisdom and knowing. You can add indigo to add psychic energy, and you can add purple to add that connection and oneness energy. My kids and I like to do a rainbow. So we tone our aura with the whole rainbow, and that gives us a little bit of everything. So you can do that now if you want. But here's the thing, that all comes from within you. You are God. You are source energy coming through you. So the vision that you're holding about yourself is what will make manifest. So as you think about your aura, as you claim that space back, as you clear the energy and you tone it with what you desire, that's what you're going to create for yourself. Mental action at this time. Be open to new ideas about what is new and different, about philosophies and laws involved. Yeah, we're increasingly picking up speed as we move deeper and deeper into the fourth density. You know, and you hear a lot of people in this community, in the community of spiritual development, of psychic awareness, talking about fifth density. And fifth density is where we're going. That is the next destination, if you will. We still have to go through fourth density, and we're really in that beginning kind of stages of it where we're having the beginnings of fourth density experience. It's like the end of third, beginning of fourth. And as we're going through this, new awareness is going to be coming to our consciousness. We're going to learn a lot of the things that had never been revealed during this time period. And if you've listened to this vlog for a while, you know that we're in an ascension cycle. This means we're heading into a golden age. Now, what happens to civilizations when they hit a golden age is that secret or hidden wisdom that has been hidden in the past or reserved for a select group of people because it was pulled away from the public in a descension cycle, well, it somehow magically seems to resurface and appear and go back into the mass consciousness. So we're in this process where things are getting unveiled, unearthed, and exposed so that all consciousness, all human consciousness, our collective, can start to be be a part of that again and also absorb that again. So we're going to be in a period, especially in the Aquarian age, that almost blows the doors off, because not only will ancient hidden knowledge be revealed, but also the things we've never heard of before, because the Aquarian age promises innovation and visionary, forward, futuristic thinking. So we're moving more and more into that time period all the time. So be open, be ready to receive it, because it can only come in if you're open to receiving that energy. And people are getting it now. I was just listening to David Wilcock talking the other day, and he's already talking about the anti-gravity hover cars that they are going to start creating. They already have like the plans or the prototype or something, but that's happening, that's coming. And it was like, wow, this is the time period that we're moving into. It's so Aquarian. All right, physical action. Invent a way to use an unconventional way and do it in a big way. So also during this time period, we're being presented with a lot of obstacles in different ways. And thank you for being in the Aquarian age when these obstacles come, because a lot of people are going to break out of the box. They're going to break the mold, and they're going to realize that they have the answer to any problem that's presented to them, right? Rather than looking for the old solutions, people are going to have these beautiful epiphanies of a new way to deal with this, another way to deal with something that we haven't looked at. Another thing I remember David Wilcock talking about was the repurposing of trash, and that there are people out there, scientists, who have already discovered ways to repurpose trash and create fossil fuel from it, create water from it. I mean, it's amazing that you can have like a zero waste trash. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. It was zero waste trash repurposing, I guess, is what we would call it. But it's amazing. Just that thought, just thinking about, wait a second, how could we totally reinvent this area? You know, what are we doing here that doesn't work? This is the time when these ideas are coming forward. And it's not reserved for just this group of people over here or these engineers over here. It's open to all of us. We just have to be open to receiving it. So remember, problem and solution are always born together. That means however old the problem was, the solution has been around that long. So we're in an accelerated consciousness period where our consciousness keeps expanding and increasing, and these solutions are going to be so obvious, and I'm really excited for all of that. So let's do outcomes. So for those of you choosing outcome with Uranus in Aquarius in the 9th house of mental expansion, you can hear it's all about expanding the mind. The spiritual outcome right now is an unusual example of genius to experiment with spiritual values. An unusual example of genius to experiment with spiritual values. And I think this really means that, well, first of all, the spiritual values are something you want to identify, but perhaps, and I know this from my team, they're always asking me to not close the mind. So even when I think I know something, I'm always being asked to stay open to, my brain says stay open to being wrong, but it's more like stay open and allow it to evolve. So even when I think I know what something is, I'm always being asked to stay open to it possibly being more than you can see. And I feel like when we look at our spiritual values, especially those that have been handed down generationally or come from institutions, right? So if you have a long-standing relationship with an institution, that's fine. But you're being asked to expand what you know on that, meaning be open to more. Something unusual is going to come from that, and I think it's a highly personal experience for each of us. Mental outcome at this time. A different way of looking at the discoveries of long-range thinking or travel. I mean, this is such an expanded reading. It's so far out there. A different way of looking. Again, the work that we're doing to allow ourselves to see past what we think we know. That's really the challenge right now, is see past what you think you know. See past what you think you see. Right? This really, we really have to be willing to be the curious child during this time period, rather than having a set mindset. In fact, they always say, if you want to be closer to God, if you want to be closer to Source, be like that of a child, curious, open-minded. Nothing is like set in stone yet. There's always questions, and that is the kind of mind that is going to create, that's going to see the solution that some of us don't see, especially if we're fixed in a state of like, no, I already know the answer to that, and there's nothing we can do, right? If we were to look at the trash problem and go, well, there's nothing we can do, then we would be stuck with it. But there are people looking at it and going, we can do something. We can do something here. And you know what it sounds a lot like when I think about that trash problem. It reminds me of Back to the Future, right? When Doc was putting the banana peels and the garbage into the DeLorean, and it was running on fusion or something like that. It was running on like cold fusion or something, but he was fueling it with trash. And it really sounds like maybe that's where we're going, which would be incredible. I mean, imagine what that would do for the planet. But I digress. The point is that when you allow yourself to shift your view and go, what if I looked at it this way? What would I see? New information comes out. Physical outcome at this time, an unexpected change resulting from the eccentricity of what is to be shared. So it sounds like there's some kind of, again, with Uranus and Aquarius involved, something's coming that we didn't foresee. And it's something that feels out there. So it really depends on what area you're looking at. But for some of us, there are some areas where we naturally sort of allow our minds to expand. But looking at this, what I'm getting is wherever you haven't expanded your mind, something is going to happen to cause it to expand. So be open to that. Be excited about that. I mean, there's so much new in terms of especially information and knowledge that's going to be coming forward over this next week. So let's see what happens. And stay in that curious and open place and enjoy the gifts of genius that are coming to us all. I hope that you have a great week and stay magical. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release a new video. Until then, stay magical.